We're on your IG already.
All right.
So, yeah, so much.
Will you send me over this again, the final version to this one, so I can send it to Rush? What's that? Hey guys, are we popping? Let me see if this is. How do you guys sound? How does this sound to you guys? You guys like this?
Don't say too much, Tyson.
We're going. Oh man, people are coming in. Hey guys, what kind of questions you guys have today? 50 or 60 plus nutrition and workouts. Good morning. Oh, that's his name. Sorry.
The only comments that IG comments don't show up.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can still pop it up.
Okay. Guys, we are over 100 already. I like it. Welcome everybody. What kind of questions do you guys have? I'll be on here, but the real man will be on here in a minute. Hey, champ. I will finish up this podcast and get a hold of you and give me about an hour. What are you good this year? What is everybody's focus this year? Did anybody do anything? Did you guys write down any kind of notes or anything like that? He's okay. He's fine. We got Titan here, home from school. How about you guys? Any parents out there got the kids home from school? I got not only him home from school, but I also have Bobo home from school. So it's like two kids going out to party. What time's Griff coming over?
I guess they wear bikinis and water and the whole nine.
The whole
Oh,
nine.
we are? I can't see myself. I'm sorry. My plug?
I'm just trying to figure out, Johnny. We doing this? I'm thinking the gray kind of shows it. You see, you're going with the sleek black look. Hey, we haven't got our sweats.
You haven't?
I just realized that. No. I just realized that seeing that because I'm assuming that.
Johnny, this life is over.
Yeah, done. Kick him out. Done.
I'm really upset, man. I'm gonna get the tracking number as soon as I'm done with this and find out where they were, because they should have been delivered weeks ago.
Have one of your people find that tracking number.
Oh, I'm going to. I'm gonna have Destiny excuse my language. I'm gonna have Destiny do it right after this. Yeah, because there was expensive tracksuits in there, man. Like they weren't just like regular ones.
Yeah, they weren't just
really nice ones for you.
I like that.
How you doing?
Kid, we're in the new year.
I know.
Where did that year go?
I know. Just flew by, baby. Flew by.
Crazy to me. I think Mona and me were talking about this like a couple months ago. She's like, kid, it's already October. Then it's November. And then it's like, and during the year for me, we were getting ready for these movie projects, and it's like, all right, we got 5 weeks to get ready, class and training and everything, and then suddenly it's over. And the whole year felt like that way to me. It's like, I got so much pressure on me. I got to do this. The plate's full, so I got to feast while I can. And then it's like the whole year's over. It's like, oh, okay, that just went way too fast. How can I slow it down a little bit?
That's how I am, man. It's like benchmarks. You have benchmarks through the year that you're doing, whether it's projects, movies, we're doing whatever it is, right? And events. And man, those things, once you start hitting them and you start hitting them and go, and I mean, it really does fly by pretty quick.
So
You know,
let me do this. Let's go in reverse, because I think the cool thing about what we're saying in one aspect is that a journey of health and fitness or training or getting your goal set, it's going to be faster than you think. It's like, hey, it's January 1st. Let me start training. Let me start getting ready. And before you know it, you're 3 months in and you're in the shape that you want to be.
exactly.
But at the same time, how do you unwind and try to slow down and live in those moments? Because you're a father, you're a husband,
Yep.
you're a son.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, without getting too far down, you are really trying to live in the moments right now as a father, a husband, and a son. So is there any kind of tips that you can give us? Any
You know,
John wisdom?
I guess, you know, to keep on track in fitness as far as that goes.
No, I'm talking about like trying to slow down life a little bit and live in the important things.
Listen, you know, obviously there's certain things that are there in your life, and this is one life you live, right? You only have one set of parents, hopefully. You got maybe some kids, maybe you have a wife. I don't know what it is. You have these certain special people around you, or you have certain special things that are going on in your life, per se, right? And to live in the moment, right? You got to prioritize these special things. So I guess the prioritizing for me would come from what is most important to me. Obviously, my family, my business, my friends, and my training. And those are my 4 core things I think that, you know, make my world turn. You know, before there was other things in there, right? Like I like to go out before or whatever it is. Those things are gone. So for me, I guess it's just thinking about, you know, all the time that I got missed with my son earlier on by building the business. Well, the whole point to that was being able to spend more time with him. So at that point, I've got to the point where I built the business, but I'm still building the business,
Yeah.
right? But,
Yeah.
you know, at that point, like, I can't forget about, hey, listen, my son's only going to be 14 once. You're going to be 15 once. You know, I'm going through these stages with him. And I want to make all these memories with them because later on, that's all we're going to have. So, you know, it's important to slow down, I guess. I mean, how to slow down? I don't really know how to slow down. It's just I gotta prioritize, and then I gotta schedule everything. So if you're living on a schedule, that's probably the best way to do it. And luckily, I have my wife to keep me on track with my schedule because she handles my whole schedule. Like I don't schedule anything anymore because I would double schedule things or do more than probably that I could bite off more than I can chew. So she keeps me on track like that. I think scheduling is everything to keep you really on track. But you got to understand, like sometimes, you know, I understand there might be more opportunity out there. You might have all these different things. But if there's something that's really priority to you, like your family, your kids, then you got to move that time around. You got to say, hey, listen, what's most important to me? Is it, you know, going to see my son play a sport,
a
going
little
on
to the
vacation
side.
for a little bit, or making a little bit more money or doing something else as far as that goes? And I'm always going to prioritize my family over that. And that's
Keep
the biggest
going.
thing to me. Before money, before anything else, you know, that's the number one thing.
Good.
And obviously training because of health, right? I want to make sure that I'm healthy, I'm staying fit
I-
for my
I'll
family,
ask.
I'm staying healthy, so they don't got to take care of me, or I don't have no problems. You know, that's the other biggest thing to me because I don't want to be a burden to my family at all. I want to be able to provide, take care of them, and do the right thing by them. So those are probably the 2 biggest actions. You know,
Mine's
as
up
far
all the
as
way.
keeping me there. Other than that, man, I mean, you know, I guess sometimes you gotta stop and smell the roses. You know, I mean, you're there, you're hustling, bustling, and you don't have anything except for tunnel vision. And sometimes you got to open up and you got to say, hey, all right, listen, I need to take this time. And for us, it was, you know, the times in Turk where, listen, we took a week. I still didn't stop working. Sharice got a good break. You know, thank God. You know, because
I know you too well.
you know,
Yeah.
you know, I was doing my lives out there. I was posting social media every day. I'm answering DMs every day. You know, luckily I have a good crew back here, Art and the rest of the girls that, you know, held it down. But, you know, at that point, like that's the biggest thing. You know, you got to take some breaks and, you know, and let yourself reset, recharge, revitalize, and then attack it. But, you know, those important times. And if you don't have kids and you just have your partner, you know, then take some time with your partner. And at that point, you guys can have some time or some time for yourself if you don't have anybody. You know, it's always good to do that. But you know, a lot of people like to bury themselves in their work, especially if they have problems, they have issues, or they're lonely. They just bury themselves in work and that's it. But at that point, listen, you got to enjoy life to a certain extent too. And I preach this to you all the time because you're a workaholic just like me. But at that point, being a machine 24/7 like you are, it's good to stop, get some maintenance, oil up, lubricate all the areas and joints, and now all ready to rock and roll. So, you know, that's my biggest thing. I think that it's more beneficial to you in life to take a little bit of breaks here or there, not long term, nothing crazy, but a couple days per se, every couple months, to just say, hey, listen, I need to zone in myself. And I think honestly that will help with anti-aging. I believe so because listen, you have a chronological clock and you have a biological clock. Your
What is the
chronological clock-
difference between those two?
Sure, let's talk about that because I think it's really important to talk about because I don't think a lot of people know that like biological and chronological the same thing. I'm not having a baby. No, it has nothing to do with it. Chronological clock is just what it says it is. It's your years counted. So if you're 42, 55, that's what it is, right? Your biological clock is how fast your body has aged or how slow it's aged. Now, I've been reading a lot of research with this, and you could be 55 and his biological clock could be 25.
What was it? The report we got back? It's 38.
For you?
Yeah.
You were young.
I was
believe
younger
it.
than
I
I was younger than Mona.
I believe it. I mean, look, you can tell though, Mike. If you look at yourself right in the mirror, or somebody looks at you like, that dude is not 55 years old. No way, no how. They show him the birth certificate, the ID, and you're like, yeah, he is. But he doesn't look like that. Why doesn't he look like that? And I get it all the time too. I'm like, listen, it's because you're taking care of yourself. And this is proven studies that if you eat properly and you eat a good nutritional diet, if you exercise, if you get sleep, this will lower your biological clock in age. So if you want to live longer and you don't want to look as old as your age, then do the right things and you won't age as fast biologically. Chronologically, your years are going to keep ticking. But biologically, you can turn that clock back around and stop the aging per se, or age at a less fast pace than everybody else, or on time as far as that goes. So
See, I absolutely love that. And there's a photo. No offense to the co-star of Top Gun, but it is a photo of Tom Cruise in '86 with his co-star, and then a photo of Tom Cruise now with her.
Yep. Oh,
And
man,
you can just see, and
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to say anything. Well, that's Tom Cruise. He had money. He had this. Tom Cruise, I'm using as an example
We know other people.
because
like
we
that.
know people, hundreds of people that are behind the cameras and do things that are
Yeah.
friends that are the exact same way. It is, you know, the guy that has a photo of his when he's 20, a training partner of mine that was just here. He's got 3 kids, and I think he's a kid himself. He looks like he's a 25-year-old kid, and he's got his oldest is 30. It's like, dude, how do you have a 30-year-old kid? You look 20.
Right.
So I love the fact that Tom Cruise has done that. And this is what Johnny's talking about. It's like, yes, I am what I am because I've been on the earth that long after I came down from Krypton. But the point was, the fact is that Mona put up a photo today of me at 20 and then me of currently, and the similarity. I want that for everybody.
Right.
And,
Right.
and
I
it's
mean,
like what Johnny's saying. It's about taking and slowing down when you need to slow down. That way you're enjoying life at the same time. And then we work. And Johnny actually made is somebody I'm counting on this year to hold me accountable for an aspect of life that I don't do, and that is stepping away and going somewhere and
right.
and going away, which is good for me because I'm with somebody that works like me. So we're still going to do content when
Yes.
we're in
Yes.
Turks and Caicos or wherever,
Yes.
and I'm going to be in ridiculous shape. And I'll be like,
Yes.
pop the top, let's get some stuff.
Yes, and that's what it's about too. I mean, just because you're taking a couple of days off, and let's say you go on vacation, whatever it is, and when we do it, we're gonna have fun and do some other stuff that is gonna show you about a healthy lifestyle too, as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking a break and enjoying some time for yourself, with your friends, with your family, whoever it is, and taking some of that stress off. It's I'm telling you, It's the biggest thing I see for people. Even with Sharice, she's totally stressed all the time. She gets headaches. She gets these things behind her neck. When she went on vacation, turned everything off. Nothing like that happened. All right, blood pressure went down. Everything went down because she's more in a relaxed state, and that's what people need to understand. Like, listen, you can work yourself to the bone. Totally fine. I'm all with that. But, you don't have to work as hard on vacation per se, but you can still work. You still get a little bit of stuff in.
Hold on. I'm confused. So if, like, hypothetically, if someone was staying with me right now.
Yep.
And I got up this morning to go train, he could take that time to go train with me.
Absolutely.
And then come back and get to his work.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
I mean, listen, when you go on vacation, that doesn't mean, hey, listen, I'm going to take days off from the gym. I'm going to change different things. No. It's about relaxing, yes, but you can still stay in a routine. So if you like to work out, listen, or you haven't worked out in a long time, take vacation to start, because all your excuses, I ain't had time because I got to take my kid to school. I have to go to work. I have to do this. I have to do that. I don't have time for the gym.
Oh, you so think like I do.
Now your first step is, you know what? I'm going to wake up. I'm going to have a nice, amazing breakfast. I'm going to go down and work out for half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour maybe. And then I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. And I'm going to have nothing to do. And I'm going to feel, here's another thing that, people will feel more accomplished when they hit tasks or goals during the day. It automatically gives you a reward system, and it makes you feel more accomplished. The more that you get done, you feel, man, I got a lot done today. I feel like it was a success. If you do that, you will add to your confidence. You'll add to everything. You'll feel better, and that's how you do it, right? If
Come on, Johnny. It's like it's a double ending, and you're hitting home runs. That's all you're doing. Because I love the fact that you said two things that I picked up on. You said go on vacation and get your training in. And I agree with that. And most people probably go, well, if I'm going to go on vacation, I want to eat bad and not work out. It's like, what?
Yeah,
holy sheesh, this is the best time to do that. Get your workout. It's an hour. It's an hour. Get it in. Eat. Yes, enjoy your meal, whatever it is, but you can still eat healthy and enjoy. Mostly, like you were just talking about, the place you went doesn't have any fast food. So whatever you did find was at least made and again, healthy or high calorie intake is fine. And then the other thing was, like you said, when you're here and you're working and you're in your house and you got to get the kids to school and you got to do this and you got to clean up and whatever. That's why I love weekends, because at least on weekends you could definitely get a couple workouts in, because it's not as stressful again for anybody that works for themselves or don't work for themselves.
Right.
You like how I think?
I love how you think.
You like how I approach it? Because it's weird that somebody else. Oh, nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a question for you. Somebody here says, Mike, I am 44. I feel it's too late. Is it? Thank you. Johnny, could you answer that first?
Sure. Hey, Chance, you're 44 years old. I'm 42. It's never too late. It is never too late. You're never out of the game, man. Whether you're 44 or you're 64, start today. If you start today, you will start feeling better. I guarantee it. So don't think that you're out of the game, especially at 44 years old, man. Listen, man, 44 is the new 30s, 40s, new 30s, 50s, new 40s, so at that point, like, I would say, listen, if you're feeling bad and stuff like that, maybe get a blood test. You're at that age that some different things could be going on, right?
Because the first set, he says in that, and I can see his mindset, I feel it's too late.
Yes.
Just so you know, anybody in every age, there's 25-year-olds out there that feel it's too late. It's like, but I know it's funny, but it's true. So 44 and you feel, do what Johnny's saying. Get some blood work done.
Get the blood work done. I mean, we moved the special for another week because of New Year's, because I want to keep people going. And we had a good response last week from it, especially from the $25 visit. So if you missed out on that, that was a hell of a deal. But the blood work deal is still going on. So you can still get blood work as a male for $130. Females are $200. And at that point, take advantage of it, and see what's going on. And like I said, you don't have to do anything, but just at least know where you're at. And then if you need some help there, that would definitely help you, get on the ball and get moving. And then once you start moving, it's like anything else. Mona was talking about it last week. You start seeing results, you're going to stay in there. You're just going to be addicted to those results and keep going and going and going. So that's really it. I mean, if you want to feel better, you'll feel better. And then at that point, you can go in there and start moving some weights or doing some exercise and start looking better too as well.
I think it's a great thing. One of the things that Mona was saying before is, we're old parents, I guess, in the scheme of life. We're old parents. And what's great is that Mona got in better shape after having Titan
The gun check. Look at her.
relative to before. And understand, I'm not talking about a woman that was out of shape. She won the universe. She's an IFBB pro, and that's before the child. And then after the child, she's even in better shape. So I know that you may feel like it's late if you're 40, mid 40s or mid 30s or whatever it is, but maybe what you're feeling is just ran down because your body's not functioning as well. And then Johnny is here again. This is those moments. Don't ask me, because I don't care how old you are. It's never too late. I train with an 80-year-old that crushes kids.
Right.
I train with an 80-year-old that beats this 18-year-old that I trained with today.
Yep.
It's like, well, nobody in the world is going to argue that 18 might be too late, right?
Right.
Nobody's going to say that.
No.
But then you got the 80-year-old's mindset that is like what Johnny's talking about. It's like, I got one life. I'm going to be a beast.
That's it. So you're under the ground at 6 feet under, man. It's never too late. You always got a chance, and all you got to do is just take that chance and just keep working, man.
I wish you could always put Jeff, that moment with Robbie upstairs. I wish we could always do that when Johnny says that. I got the best clip of I go, Robbie, when are you going to stop? And he goes, Mike. That's when I'll stop.
It's true. It's true. I mean, and Robbie is a great example. 80 years old, man, and I'll do an 18 years old. I mean, that's something to be proud of, man. I mean, I hope to God when I'm 80 years old, I can still perform like I'm doing right now.
And then also, just again, I'm saying Robbie Robinson because I think majority of society understands who that is or can figure that out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But again, I was just with a guy that's 83 in the gym, another guy that's 87 doing deadlifts. And so, again, I'm around these individuals that just don't think like the average. And I'm going to jump back to this again, just because there's so many things that happened today that are relevant to this discussion. I was training somebody just about a half an hour ago, and he goes, hey, that 18-year-old is ahead of the game. He's so far advanced about everything. And I'm like, actually, no, he's average to from what I see 18 to 20-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And I've seen hundreds of these guys every single day at the gyms that I travel around the world. And he was mind blown. And I'm like, no, there is a level, right? And then there's that second level.
Right.
Yes, you may look good. And if you do something, you're going to be something. But I wish more people would look at the smaller percentage and go, I can get into that level, which I think that most people don't think that. I wasn't genetically gifted. I work too much. I don't have the work ethic. And it's like, wow, if you could see what you possibly could become. Again, I looked at photos from your page. I was stalking your page, John, and just you out there on New Year's, you and your wife.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these two are just
having
people
fun.
are taking, but they're taking photos, and you guys look like cover models, and it's just a average photo, and it's like, geez, you two hotties. It's like, this is so cool to see somebody that's living the life that talks about it, but you actually live it. You both do. The whole family does.
Yeah, and here, that's why we hear that we want other people to learn and to up their game so they can live their life, their best life, in other words. But they want like a magic pill, they could take at night, wake up tomorrow.
Well, there are magic pills nowadays.
And let me
There
tell
are
you.
magic pills. There are magic shots. I mean, they got a pill that's going to start vibrating people's stomachs. That's going to decrease their hunger by 40%. It's called Vibes. It's coming out. It's FDA cleared. It's crazy. I mean, but everybody is looking for the magic, right? and this is going to transform you overnight. Like, yes, there's some great, fantastic medications out there for weight loss that are definitely going to help people. No matter if you don't exercise, you don't change your game of eating or whatever it is. Is that the right way? Definitely not. I have a love-hate relationship with those medications and drugs because I love them because they do help the masses.
Yeah.
I hate them because they don't change their lifestyle. So when they
Right.
stop the medications, it's a yo-yo effect. They go back to right to where they were. It's like, man, why even do this? Why not change for the better? You know, at that point, yeah, you might have been losing weight, but do you really feel your best? Probably not. You're probably not gaining any muscle. You're probably losing more than what you're even stacking on. So, yeah, it's a wicked web as far as
So every time we come on here, I like to like pick a topic that we could like actually concentrate on. That way
Sure.
people could learn and go after that particular topic that
Sure.
we are talking about. So
Yeah.
obviously everybody wants to lose weight. We talked about fat loss, which is the AOD,
Yep.
where you helps you to burn fat.
Yep.
We talked about the 157, was it BPC 157, TB 500.
Yep.
How about hair loss, right? Especially for guys.
Oh, look at
a big
Mo.
one.
All right.
Look at
So
Mo.
I know one is genetics and the other one is hormones that
Yep.
between 30 and 50 and even younger guys, I see
Yep.
that they start losing their hair, right?
Yep.
And-
Surge.
exactly. And everybody's when they see someone that is half bald or started balding, they go, "Oh, this guy is on steroids." The guy is not even on steroids. Has nothing to do with nothing. Poor guy is just going bald. Okay.
Right.
So let's talk about that and
Sure.
the help that you could aim these guys to
Sure.
that where they could maintain their hair, or maybe even I don't know if it's a possibility
that's
of
a great
regrowth,
one.
or I don't know anything.
I have a
that could
curiosity
help.
question. I
Yeah.
have a curiosity question because I know when you start messing with your, is it correct to be the DHT levels?
Dihydrotestosterone.
So when you start messing with
Mhm.
those levels, the lower they are, and I've seen Andrew Herberman talk about this forever, is the lower they are, obviously you don't lose the hair.
Right.
But at the same time, if you do lower them or too much, you
Right.
don't feel healthy or energetic or anything.
That's
Can you
right.
kind of explain that?
Sure. Yeah, this is obviously a big topic out there, and it affects men and women. Okay, when we talk about one genetic disposition, so you have somebody in your family that's
Yeah.
predisposed to baldness, and they've been bald, and now you're a son or a daughter, right? Now, most of the time, the girls usually don't lose the hair, right? But guys usually do. Now, where I see girls losing hair and stuff like that, where I've seen girls go bald, obviously is when they start messing around with anabolic substances. Okay, and that could mean a regular housewife just goes and she gets pellets, and her testosterone level just skyrockets, and DHT is going to fall right after that. So what happens is dihydrotestosterone starts going up, and then blood flow starts ending basically to the follicles, and that starts killing off the follicles. So this can happen for guys and girls. Guys don't have to take any anabolic steroids at all. They could just be from their family. Their dad was bald, their grandfather was bald. I've seen some guys start going bald at 25 years old, right? Never touched anything, skinny as a twig, all right? But at that point, they don't want to go bald that early. No, I don't think anybody does, at that point. And some guys are 50-50, I would say 75-25, where they don't care. It is what it is. I'll shave my head. But girls are not going to do that. I mean, I see a lot of girls that have these issues and they have to wear wigs every single day, right? But how do you stop this? Because, there's a frequent question to people when they come to me and say, hey, listen, if I start treatment on testosterone, am I going to lose my hair? And, you always have to say, like, listen, as long as we have you on a medical dose of testosterone and you're within normal limits of that testosterone range, you're usually not going to have any problems with your DHT going too high, because that's what the normal range was. It's 264 to 916. Let's say you're at 850, 800. Free testosterone is not above where it should be, above range. It's right in the middle. Usually you're never going to have those problems. When they start getting a little bit higher, then at that point you might have to start looking at the DHT level. Now you can blood test just for DHT too as well. And then when you start seeing the DHT level go very, very high, and you start shedding hair, you have to start correcting that immediately. If you want to be preventative to that, that's the best way to do
What
it.
numbers?
Like what's like a range of DHT?
Would that be different too?
Yeah.
Jeff asked, what would be the range
I've never
of those
seen
numbers, and where would you not want them to go to? And then on top of that, would that also be, again, let's remove your genetics on
Okay.
what the family is going to give you, but
Okay.
again, I'm assuming there's a certain amount of numbers going high and low, like
Yep.
anything on the blood tests and markers.
So the reference range can change from labs. So if you go to Quest, it could be different to the LabCorp or such. So I'm just going to give you an example range, right? 0 to 50. If you're over 50, you're probably going to have problems with DHT, right? There are some people out there, I don't care how high their DHT is. I don't care what they've been on. I've seen guys on monster cycles, 10, 12, 13 years, not lose one single strand of hair. I've seen
Good
some people,
genetics.
right, take one string of Exandrolone, do 50 milligrams a day for a year, and go thin real quick. Now, they might have been at an extra anabolic source, whatever it is, but they went real quick. So at that point, like, you know, if you're going to go on testosterone, if you're going to go on any anabolics whatsoever, you need to make sure your DHT is going to be in check. Now, there's some different ways to combat some of these different things. So if you're on testosterone replacement therapy and you want to be preventative with something like this, we have our hair health capsules, which I take every single day. And it has a couple different components that are natural to help DHT. So saw palmetto, grapeseed oil, cysteine. These are some of the different things that can help along with helping block the DHT or keeping it low. You can go with more stringent sources, I guess, with our hair foam, where it has finasteride topical, minoxidil, and it has lantrapost. And the reason it has 3 components in there is 1, it's going to keep your hair. 2, it's going to help thicken the hair, the lantrapost does. And then finasteride will help hopefully regrow the hair. Now, topically, you're not going to have really any negative symptoms. But there are a lot of guys out there that if they take finasteride orally, then they start getting, what I had is, it's like a male castration drug. So it doesn't cut your balls off or anything like that, excuse my language, but what it does is it turns down libido. So at that point, like, you're not wanting it. You don't care about it. You don't think about it. It is what it is. When I was on finasteride orally, that happened to me, and I didn't notice it till after the 5th week because it takes a little bit of time to build up in your system. DHT went down, but that was the negative effect that happened to me. So I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, for me, I'm one of those guys that says, hey, listen, if I have to shave my head to be a bull every day, I guess that is what it is. I'd rather be a bull, feel strong, feel good, be a champ in the bedroom, and be able to retain lean muscle mass than have my hair. It is what it is, I guess. But I want to keep my hair as long as possible, too. I'm not saying, hey, listen, I want to shave tomorrow. So, you know, I'm on some different products like the hair health capsules, the foam and stuff like that to try to, you know, just keep what I got, and that's what it is. If there's anybody out there that's really worried about things like that, one other product that we're going to launch that they've had some pretty good studies on is minoxidil in an oral form. So if you take it by a capsule, sublingual, then that has really good research behind it too as well. So that's something I'm going to add to the mix and add for patients on too as well. But those 3 from us are really, 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 really good ones as far as preventative and to keep your hair and to make sure DHT is not going too high and too low. I mean, because you don't want it too low. It will also affect, you know, the way that your testosterone is functioning. Dihydrotestosterone has an immediate effect too as well. It's kind of like free where, you know, you're going to get less usage of your testosterone throughout the body with dihydrotestosterone being low. So it really is your choice. But what I would do is take hair health capsules from us. Maybe it's the foam. And I think you'll be good to go, whether you're being preventative or you're at the point where you're starting to thin out a little bit and you don't want to thin out anymore. Other than that, you know, there's a couple different treatments you can do. PRP with the head, you know, it's something you'll have to do a couple different times that could bring blood flow back to the head and help the follicles as far as growth. Stem cells are another one that I've been hearing good things about. I haven't personally tried it, so I have no idea, you know, if it works or not, but these are things that I've heard great things about. So that's your options as far as hair care. Now, when you go look on social media, you might see a million different places selling a million different hair things. and it's kind of hard. Like which one's good, which one you don't really don't know. And it's just like people that have been overweight their whole life, people that are going bald are desperate. And they'll do anything to get, the result that they want. So they try all these different things. Nothing really works. That's why I would say you want to really go with a medication that's been studied and be able to use that medication. And at that point, hopefully have low to negative or minimal side effects or symptoms from the medications.
Would it make sense to also just when you do the blood work to ask for the DHT to see where your range is so you can kind of understand for yourself going, wait a minute, am I doing something wrong in life, or is this somewhat of a genetic situation?
Sure.
And that way you can find out and maybe
Sure.
communicate and diagnose yourself going, hey, listen, my DHT is a bit high. I also have baldness in the family.
Yep.
I would like to do some kind of treatment to bring that down a bit and try to retain some of that. And then on top of that, start the supplementation that Titan Medical has.
Absolutely. You could throw a DHT test on that blood test. So our standard blood tests are just what they are as far as full in depth. But if you want to add different tests on, we got no problem. SHBG, that correlates right along with dihydrotestosterone too. So, I mean, when you check SHBG, if the SHBG, sexual hemoglobin binding globulin, that's what it stands for. If that's high, then your testosterone is not free and going throughout the body. And usually that correlates with a low free testosterone level. If SHBG is high, your free is going to be on the lower end. When your SHBG is low, your free will be high and you will be utilizing everything that you have inside your body. When I do my SHBG, mine's always low. And I perform at maximum potential. And that's really what you want. You don't want it high. You can have it medium or low. That's the best way to have SHBG.
Okay. And is that something maybe even I myself can request on this next blood panel?
Absolutely.
To find that out?
Absolutely.
I think
yeah, we should definitely run that on you. 100%.
Yeah, I would like to do that. I'm going to write that down. And then on top of that, Jeff just asked a good question, is that DHEA is a high request from not just Titan Medical, but any HRT company talks about having or at least starting a DHEA, maybe pregnenolone or a keto supplementation. Does that raise your DHT?
I haven't seen DHEA raise DHT levels. Now, this is the crazy thing. DHEA is a sex hormone, right? But you can go down to your local vitamin shop, Walgreens, and pick up DHEA. And honestly, I've seen oral forms of DHEA, and we usually run those more on females because they're more inept to have lower DHEA levels. And usually females, they're not low, but if they are low, the common dose of DHEA is 25 milligrams. I've seen females take over-the-counter DHEA and at that point boost their levels double. And they think that that's going to change testosterone levels. I've even seen guys talk about this on their podcast. If I take more DHEA, I'm going to raise my testosterone level. That's not true, okay? It's not 100% going to happen. It might with some people, but I've never seen DHEA spike testosterone levels like that in blood tests. But usually if DHEA is on the lower end, they could take it orally and it's going to pop it right back up. I mean, really, really well. I mean, Sharice doesn't even take a DHEA. She was taking 25 milligrams. She had to back it down to 10 milligrams because she doubled the range of DHEA. And I'm not saying going over a little bit would be okay, but doubling it would probably not, it's not the best for you. I don't think. The higher the DHEA, if it's higher, too crazy, I would lower down the dose. But that's something you could blood test for and you can see. And then at that point, if you're being consistent with your medications, those levels aren't going to change. They'll stay the exact same. So at that point, once you get dialed in, you'll be good to go. If you start messing around and tweaking things, that's when other things could start happening.
See, correct me if I'm wrong. When a lot of people do DHEA, pregnenolone, when they do take too much, the reason, and am I correct? The reason why you don't want to take too much is after your body utilizes what it can utilize, a remaining amount, if you are taking too much is going to turn towards an estrogen aspect in your body relative to helping you boost up that sex
Right.
drive and hormones. Is that kind of what it does
So
in a
yeah,
sense?
it could go to total estrogens. That's what I'm saying. So all hormones they convert and keep crossing. There's never a stop. Like I'm gonna take testosterone, stop at testosterone. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna convert into estrogen, DHT, all these different things. So I actually have a flow chart for hormones, how they start breaking down from cholesterol and all these different things. I'll try to look for that image. I'm gonna send that image so you can have it and post it. It's really good information for somebody because they could really understand. Hey, listen, this is how my hormones work in my body, and this is how they start breaking down, and this is where they're gonna go. Starts giving a little picture of what's going on the inside. I like to know all that stuff. So, yeah, it could definitely affect different estrogen levels. But I mean, at that point, I don't think it's going to affect too crazy, but it will convert.
Okay. No, not you. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think understanding where these things are converting and understanding what hormones you're taking and how they're going to affect your body is key. Risk supplementation and risk of balding also on creatinine levels or creatine. I've never seen the studies on creatine don't show any baldness. You're not raising DHT levels with creatine at all.
That's a rumor.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a. I'm sorry. A lot of people feel like when they are on creatine, it at least thins their hair out, or they feel
Really?
like they are going. This is just something a lot of people have said to me.
That happens to me.
So Jeff over here says he doesn't care what the stories are or what the experts say. He feels like it definitely thins it out, if not more so.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I haven't seen any research on baldness from taking creatine. Obviously, all the research has been around 5 milligrams of creatine per day has induced better brain functions, muscle and the whole nine. So, I don't know. I mean, listen, if you think creatine is affecting your hairline, whether it's placebo or not, we know that people that take placebo in research, if they think it's working, it does work, right? So if they think they're going to go bald because they're taking creatine, you might have an effect. I don't know. I mean, that could definitely happen, I guess. As far as DHEA, I've never seen anybody on high levels of DHEA go bald. I've had females, like I said, I mean, exuberant amounts of DHEA naturally. Like I've seen some females, I mean, it's 600 on their DHEA, and I think it's 250 or something like that on as far as the reference range is normal. So, that's something you might want to look at, I guess. But DHEA, I don't think so. If creatine does it, I don't know about it. I haven't seen any studies on baldness and creatine.
Yeah, and some people are saying that they feel like they lost some of their hairline and stuff on the creatine. And again, yeah, but there's a lot of factors to that. Was it the creatine? Is it your age? Is it something more going on there?
Are you taking any anabolics or anything?
But I'm okay
like
with,
that?
like anything. If you feel like it doesn't work with you, don't do it.
That's
and
exactly right.
I think creatine for me, I love it. I love it before the workout and right after the workout.
Yep.
I am on a protocol from Titan Medical for my hair. So, maybe that's making me keep it and do all this stuff. So I go back to I'm checking the numbers and I'm looking at things. So that's one of the big things for all of us. I think we continue to try to check this. What do we got here, Mona? What's
this is a good one.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Take that, Johnny.
It says, "Hey Mike, hey John, curious if I'm currently taking 100 milligrams a week of test prop from you guys, HCG and PCT. Any advice on how to kick the anxiety and panic attacks? I used to take B12 every day." All right, so this is a good one. All right, so first let's break down what you're taking. You're taking test prop. Now, if you're taking test prop from us, 100 milligrams a week, I'd probably change that because that is a short-acting testosterone. That means, let's say you inject that on Monday, by Wednesday it's pretty much all the way gone, right? It's getting out of the system very fast.
Why would they be on that over basic T level?
We offer every kind of ester there is. So we offer propionate by itself, we offer cypionate, we offer an enthate, and then we offer blends. So I have cypionate and propionate, which I take. I have a tri-blend, which has all 3 esters in it, which is beneficial for some people because there is no drop-off. Once one ester is gone, the other ester kicks in, and then the other ester kicks in after that. So, but with this, if you're on Test Pro, you're in and out real quick. So that means that your testosterone levels are going down quicker, right? Now, HCG is going to help boost those levels up probably or keep them where they're at because natural function. The PCT thing, I don't know what you're talking about there because we don't prescribe a PCT. That's post-cycle therapy along with testosterone regimens like this. That would be if you were to get off of testosterone, then we'd put you on something to make sure your natural production was still going. But if you're talking about like a Nastrozole, and that's what I think you would be talking about. If you're through us, you're taking tests, you're taking an add-back therapy, whether it's HCG and clomiphene, Kisspeptin, and then you're taking your Nastrozole, Letrozole, or Romacin. But when you're taking these, everything's got to balance out right. So anxiety. So when somebody says, I'm getting anxiety and I'm on a regimen from you guys, then immediately I say, listen, we need a blood test immediately. We need a blood test 2 things. 1, free and total testosterone, and 2, estradiol levels. Usually when somebody has anxiety, it's because their estradiol levels are literally too high or too low. And I would imagine, depending on what the medication and the dosage you're taking of an Nastrozole, that it's probably too low. And at that point, we need to blood test that so we can dial you in. And my recommendation is just, to talk to the provider. If you ever have a problem or concern or something's not right or you think you could optimize better, you need to contact us. Call or text the office, tell them the issue. And if you still have an issue, you can always come on these lives. You tell me direct, and I'll go
exactly.
after. I'm here for you guys.
We hear once a week. You just tell us, listen, I
That's it.
reached out and I haven't heard back, and you'll be right on.
They'll reach out, but if you don't get the answer or you don't like the answer or whatever it is, you want to confirm it, you can come on live with me or you can write me directly, and I'll definitely tell you what's up, or I'll find the answer out for you for sure. But, if you have a longer ester per se, if it was cypionate, it's going to take a couple more days to kick in. It'll probably last longer inside the body. I would definitely look at the Nastrozole that you're probably taking and see what the dose is. Best thing to do is contact the office, call or text 727-389-3220. It's our main number. And at that point, talk to them. And we need a blood test, just 2 tests. Free and total testosterone and estradiol levels. I think it's like $50, not even. And at that point, we can see what's going on and we can retweak the regimen if we need to. And if next month you need to go on a different ester like cypionate or enanthate, we can definitely make sure that happens. And we can make sure that your Nastrozole and everything is dialed in. And that's the best thing to tell you. When you have anxiety like that, something's off hormone-wise. And usually it's estrogen.
I got a question. You were kind of explaining this. For a guy, if that estrogen starts getting a little out of whack, that's when a lot of the emotional stuff may come into play.
Yeah. Emotional problems, erection problems, anxiety. I mean, all different things can happen as far as when it's too low or too high.
Could this also happen naturally in the body when somebody's T levels are extremely low? When somebody's, you've done blood tests enough to see somebody coming in at a 35-year-old, but their testosterone levels at 200 and their estrogen is raised.
Yep.
That's going to make you emotionally. Okay, so this is just one of those things going back to the guy at the full circle here about the 44-year-old at the beginning talking about it's too late for me. I'm done. Mm-hmm. And that might be maybe something's going on in the body to where you don't got that fight anymore. And that might be because the testosterone is that low. And we're talking to a guy here at one point. If I'm correct. You were dealing with something where you being sexual, you just kind of forgot about it for a moment.
Yep.
Because of what was going on. DHT. And this can happen to anybody and everybody. This can happen to an expert, to the person that's just wanting to try to live their lives. So again, it goes back to, let's get blood work.
And this is the funny thing when it happened. When I went to the doctor and I was talking to the doctor, because I didn't get prescribed, I wanted a second opinion from somebody else. I knew what my doctors were going to say. They're going to say, listen, this might not be the best choice for you. So I went to the other doctor to get the recommendation from him and what he said. And I told the doctor, listen, he said, if you're lowering DHT levels, but you're on testosterone regimen and you're taking testosterone, testosterone's up and everything's good there, you aren't gonna have any problems. So I was like, all right, cool. And I'm usually patient zero, so I take all the medications so I can tell you guys what my experience was. And that was my experience. And my testosterone was over 1,200. My estrogen was perfect. My DHT was just low, and that was causing the issue, I guess. So, it's things like that. Different medications can affect different people in different ways. There's some people that I know that take finasteride, they have no problem. Most of the people I talk to that take finasteride have an issue or do get an issue down the road. So, it's person dependent, I guess, to a certain extent. It's just, for me, like that's a big part of my relationship to a degree. So I'm never going to give that up. Like I said, I'd rather be bald and performing like a workhorse all day, every day, like a racehorse. It is what it is.
Yeah, you and I think Andrew Herman was saying the same thing. It's like if it's one or the other, rather lose the hair and be a beast relative to keeping the hair and the other options.
There's a good one up here. It's a good statement, but I want to talk about it if it's okay.
Go for it.
All right, so Skinner Alistair, he said DIM is good, saw improvements. So let's talk about DIM real quick. All right. So, when I started this a long time ago, 11 and a half years ago, I was going to every anti-aging conference. I was going to all these seminars. I was listening to doctors from around the world talk about treatments and everything going on. And there were a lot of doctors at that point in time, and there's still some out there, that talk about controlling estrogen with DIM, right? And at that point, we're like, all right, well, let's see how this really works. We start doing it with patients, and DIM is probably the worst thing I could say for controlling estrogen. And it's supposed to control estrogen. But every time I've seen people take DIM, it doubles their estrogen. Estrogen goes up. So I wouldn't recommend DIM to anybody.
So is DIM just an estrogen blocker in a sense?
That's what they were using it for. Instead of an anastrozole, they were putting them on DIM. And we were like, all right, well, what's it? And they're like, oh man, I'm so sensitive. All right, let's retest. And we retest their levels, and we see it come back higher or doubled. And I'm like, dude, this is just not good. So DIM, I would not recommend for anybody out there. And that is one that's
DIM is out, guys.
Dim sum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone here is 250 to 300.
What do you think about that, John?
Yes. So, we do people at 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams. The highest dose that we would ever do for a patient is 300 milligrams a week. The most studied dose is 200 milligrams. That's the commercial studied dose. Some people need a little bit more. So that's why they get 300. They might get 250. They might get 300. But that is the max. Now, what I've seen some places do that's been really, really crazy, I've seen some guys go 400. I've seen some guys go 500 a week. Doctors writing this out. And I'm like, there is no clinical data on this. I'm like, if you blood test somebody, first of all, you start them at a lower dose. Start them at 200. If you really think they need 300, and it really depends. Like I said, for our providers, they're going to look not just at numbers. They're going to look at symptoms, how you're feeling, health history, family history, and all that, and then decide the dose. But if you decide a dose at, let's say, 200 milligrams, if we put somebody on 200 milligrams, we put them on it, they call back 2 weeks later, hey, I'm not really feeling anything. All right, let's go send you in for a blood check. So we test their free and total testosterone and their estrogen levels usually with those blood checks. And then their total is above 1,500. Their free is above range. Their estrogen is a little off. So like, listen, the estrogen's a little bit off, but your testosterone, we don't need to bump up because at this dose, you're flying high. Now, there could be some different things as far as what happens because of that number. So what I mean by that is if somebody injected their testosterone and let's say they're taking Cypionate and they injected it and on day 3, they, from the first day, they go in and do a blood test, their levels might be spiked. That means that might be the highest that level is going to be. And then it starts dropping down. So your provider should tell you how many days after your first test shot you should be going in for a blood test. And they'll tell you, like, I think us is like 4 days, 3 to 4 days. At that point, you're going to go in. We're going to see where the highest point's at because that's where you're going to be at. And then we'll see where it's coming down to. But you got to adjust if you need to. But 300 milligrams is going to be the most optimal dose you're going to get from Titan Medical Center.
Question for you. I've worked with a lot of people online, and when they come back and I get to look over their blood work and stuff, and and again, most are at 200, but I have seen some people be on a regimen of 300. Could this be because they at one time maybe abused it in a sense, like most athletes or these bodybuilder guys when they were younger get on a crazy amount to try to win a trophy and hurt their bodies. Could that be a reason why somebody needs to be on 300, or how does that function?
So I mean, there's people that come back at like a 99 on their total testosterone. Those guys might need a little bit more help, and those guys could be the guys that have abused it before in the past, have been on anabolic substances, and their body might need a little bit more. There are other guys that they haven't been on anabolic substances. Their levels are still really, really low, and they're really, really young per se. And those could be the people that need those doses. Performance-wise, you might have some special forces guys that have to be out in the field. Those guys are going to have to be on probably a little larger dose than 200 milligrams. They're going to be on point, and they might split their dose, and they might only have so much testosterone they have on them. They might be taking sublinguals too at that point, and they might need 300 milligrams of sublingual dose, or even a little bit more. So, at that point, it really just depends on the person, what's going on, numbers, family history, health history, and that will really determine what their dose is going to be. But listen, if you say I'm having a problem and we recheck, and let's say your numbers don't look that good, then we're going to up the dose. But we're not going to go over 300. I mean, at 300,
you're taking care of everything.
You're balling, dude. I don't care what you say. You're balling. If anybody tells me no, I'm like, you're crazy, and you're just trying to get a higher dose for other reasons.
You're doing enough to where you can not just get back in shape, have the energy, please the lady in the bedroom, and all those kind of things. But at the same time, keep doing this for a long period of time to have a full, healthy life.
Of course.
And we've talked about this numerous times, is that you can do this for a period of time, but when you get older and older, the levels that you can do need to come down more so when you start hitting 65 and those guys up there. So my recommendation too is for you guys that are in your 40s, that you're not living your best life. I would make sure that you start figuring out how to live your best life.
Right.
Because there's some that Titan Medical can help you, at this point. And we talked about age, what you're, how you're living your life. Are you living it to the fullest potential? And again, my recommendation is find out where that blood work is at. And Johnny, you were saying earlier, you guys are still doing the special.
Yes.
For these guys and girls.
The rest of the week. One more week, and that's it. I had one person complain to me in my inbox. I'm like, you're going to complain to me that I'm running a special to save people money? Oh, it's not, just doesn't have any more value. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, listen, the price is going to go up after a week, so you can complain to me all you want. But I was like, what do you want me to do? I was like, I'm going to help people out, and if I can give them a little bit of a discount, I'll give them a little bit of a discount.
I'm sorry about sending you that DM. That was my bad.
It was actually a girl. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, all right.
Like I said, I'm sorry that I said it. I'm identifying this week.
Oh, man, do I got a funny story for you after this.
Oh,
New Year's, geez.
I'll save that for afterwards.
For sure.
I don't want this going out there. Guys, the information is here. And Mary asked earlier, can we do a Zoom with Johnny? Yeah, at some point we want to. This man is so busy, and we just got done with New Year's. So let's give that time for not the Zoom, like the room talk with all the Titan crew members. Give a little time for that, but use this time for any question you have. Honestly, just whatever the issue is going on. I think Mona just knocked it out of the park here.
Every time.
And she didn't even grow up with baseball. With the whole hair issue is.
That's what I'm here for.
Keep it in line. Keep it in line. But the hair issue, guys, go back and watch this if you just tuned in for this. It's talking about how you can retain your hair, or if you have issues with hair, on how that maybe we can stimulate that. Not me personally, but Titan Medical
Yeah.
can help you. And again, it goes back to the blood work again. And Johnny is doing the special still this week.
Yep.
You can see it right here on the bottom of the screen. We will also, when this will get posted over onto my YouTube, and we'll put up a story on my social media. And this is also right now on my page. Go to the stories or go to my bio and click the link right there. It can take you right over to Titan Medical. Fill out what you need to do. Talk to one of the wellness providers after you get your blood work back. And man, you're starting 2024 like a superstar.
That's right. That's right. Make
So-
this your year for sure.
Take advantage of this, guys. Do not wait. I don't know what the point of waiting. Again, tomorrow's not promised to anybody.
I see this guy Ryan. I'm 36, and the thought of 40 scares me. I have a lot of work to do. Still single and ready to mingle. So if you're 36, listen, don't be scared of 40. You still got 4 years to get there, right? And in 4 years, you can do a lot of work. In 1 year and half a year, you can do a lot of work. So 4 years, you could be the best possible, optimal, physical peak shape in your life. But you got to start now, especially if you're single. Being single is a lot easier than being in a relationship and trying to get physically fit. There's studies on this. If you're comfortable in your relationship, you're more inept to gain weight, okay? If you're single, you're more inept to be in shape. And a lot of people, when they get divorced, they get in a breakup, what's the first thing they do? They start working on themselves again because they have to go out and find a new partner, or a new relationship, a new girl, new boy, whatever it is. So I would man, I'll tell you what. Before I got married with Sharice, even when me and Sharice talked about getting married and having the kid and the whole nine, I said, listen, there's one thing that you're never, ever going to take from me. I was like, I don't care what's going to go on. I'm going to go to the gym. And back then I used to go every single day for 2 hours. So I've gave up a lot of my time for the business and everything else. But I told her, girls before then, they never came first. It was work, gym, then girl. Work, gym, then girl. Had to pay for myself, had to pay for my body. Now I'll go hang out and have some fun. So if you prioritize yourself like that, you will be successful.
Hold on. So you're saying that you would get up, let's say hypothetically, on a Monday, and if there was a football game or something you had to go to, you would train first before leaving the house to go to that thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that about you.
I mean, come on. I mean, listen, I would do that even for me, one job I had beforehand, right? I worked 7 days a week, 24 hours a day at this job. I ran this shop. I took the phone home after hours. I was making sales all night. She's seen this. What I would do is I go to work, and then after work immediately, I go to the gym. From the gym after the 2 hours, then I go hang out with whoever it was at that point in time. So that was it. I need to get my workout. I need to make my money, and now I'll go have some fun with it. Because without that, what do you got, right? You can't pay for yourself. No girl wants to be with somebody that's a bum. Well, some girls maybe do. But, you have your physical shape. You ain't got a dime to your name. You might have some, you can make some money maybe off your body. Maybe you can do some modeling, whatever it is. But at least you have something to fall back on. So get your money straight, get your body straight, then get the woman. And the woman, if she's good, will support you in what you want to do. And if there are some of these girls or guys out there, if you're in a relationship, you spent too much time at the gym. If you're not there 24 hours a day, or let's say you're at the gym for 4 hours. All right, maybe you're spending a little bit too much time at the gym if you're not a trainer or working there. But at that point, if you want to spend an hour at the gym, hey, listen, that's your time. They should respect that. If anything, they want to come along with you or maybe support you in that way. But if they don't have any right to say, hey, listen, you're not spending enough time with me. You're going to the gym. Hey, listen, I'm going to work on my body. I'm going to work on my health, and that's what it is. So, find a woman that wants to support your goals.
We got some lucky women. We
do.
We're lucky because of our women. If
we're
I
very,
didn't go
very
to the
lucky.
gym, Mona would say, get your ass out of the house.
Yes.
Get to the gym.
That's what, and that's the best. Because there's days you're like, and they put the foot up your ass. And hey, listen, get motivated. Go get your shoes on. Let's go. Get your earphones. Get your water. Let's go. And I'm like, all right, cool.
I
But
love that.
you got to motivate each other, and that can be support each other. And that's a whole different conversation about couples.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Hey, Johnny, thank you so much, man. I always
Absolutely.
appreciate Tuesdays with you.
Me too.
We'll touch base after this. Let's game plan and do a nice little 15-minute game plan for this week and next week.
I'm game. I'm definitely game.
Sound good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Have
Appreciate
a good
all you
afternoon.
guys.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you, man. I'll talk to you later. Bye, Mona. Bye, Jeff.
Peace.
Bye.